Again, thank you for coming to Wherefour's weekly webinar series, this one being on Order Management 101. The purpose of this series is to give you a lot of information in a short period of time so that you can learn a lot and move on with your day. We should be here for about 10-15 minutes and we'll go from there. So let's get started. Why does order management matter? Well, it's basically the thing that allows businesses to run. Orders equals money. It's the reason we're in business and very important to manage them efficiently. Bad order management leads to a lot of bad outcomes, lost orders, inefficient fulfillment, which leads to spending money on more bodies, and poor planning with regard to knowing what you're going to need to produce into the future, which again can lead to poor inventory management and loss of money in production. Good order management does the exact opposite. You end up with happy customers, a much more efficient business, and great data on the back end for decision making to run your business. What's the role of an ERP in this process? Well, if you don't have an ERP, you're managing orders on paper and spreadsheets and in people's heads, and documents are moving around. The purpose of the ERP is to be the central source of truth. It's going to have all of your inventory in there, all of your customers, all of your orders, all of your data after the fact on order fulfillment. A bunch of the things you're able to do and more efficiently with an ERP, organizing orders into buckets, fulfilling orders on a timely basis, making sure all your orders are invoiced so you don't miss any revenue opportunities, automation of tasks, so doing things much more quickly and easier, and we'll get into some of that here in a few minutes. Again, one of the things that I mentioned are data-driven decisions. Once you have data in a system, you have the ability to make decisions based on history and how the company's performed in the past, how your customers are behaving, what markets to focus on, where you're making money, where you're not making money. And then there's a whole logistics component. Most of our customers at Wherefour have a B2C and a B2B side of their business. Some go into one side or the other, but regardless of that, a lot of times companies have different order sources, and it enables you to get all of your orders into one place so that you can fulfill them more efficiently. So without further ado, let's hop into Wherefour ERP system, and we can kind of go through how those things happen in the system and really how an ERP can make your life easier on the order management front. So at a high level, we're going to hop into the logistics here. Let me increase the size of the screen here a little bit to make it easier to see. So basically, if we look at this dashboard, we can see really quickly on a fulfillment position is basically the orders that I have in-house, subtracting from inventory on hand. So in this example, I have excess inventory of everything, so I can fill all my in-house orders except for one particular product, which is chocolate bars, and I need to make 3,200 of these basically to fill all the orders in-house. So one of the things an ERP can do is get that data very quickly to you so that you know what to produce instead of pouring through a bunch of orders, taking a inventory stock and doing the math. The system has all that data in it, so instantly you can tell where you are from a fulfillment standpoint. I'm going to hop into the orders area. So the different components of order management are, of course, your customers. Those are the ones that place orders. Potentially quotes, if you're a company that issues quotes and turns those into orders. The orders themselves, and logistics attached to those being fulfillment of orders, any sort of returns that take place, credits that need to go back to customers. So there's a lot of moving parts when you talk about order management. One of the things an ERP does great is store your customer data. So if we look at this first customer here, Bennett Distribution, and I go into here, I can store data attached to this customer so that then when they place an order, we can by default put certain data points against those. So if I look at properties, for example, Bennett Distribution is obviously a distributor, aptly named Bennett Distribution. And so when they place orders, we can slot those into, from a reporting standpoint, our distribution side of the business. If we have wholesale, distribution, again, direct to consumer, we can slot customers into all of those buckets to make our reporting more useful. And then in addition to that, we can attach a salesperson if we need to track commissions. Again, we've got our sales channel here. If we deliver to them in a certain way, We can put that in there. Price tiers. So another great thing about ERP is you can store your pricing for your customers in the system so that when they place an order, it's going to automatically populate into the system. Nobody has to look on a price sheet. Remember the discount that a customer gets, it's already in there. And then, of course, if you're shipping from different locations, we have some customers that fulfill some of their orders. They have 3PLs or outside warehousing that fulfill some of their other orders. You can have inventory in both places, have customers place orders that are fulfilled by one or the other, and have the inventory deducted from the correct place. So that's essentially customer data that can be attached to orders. So if I go in here and I'll place an order with Bennett Distribution, we'll kind of see how this manifests. So if I place a new order with Bennett Distribution, and go in here, we can see that automatically populated the delivery method. It's an order from a distributor. Katie is our salesperson that's going to be credited for the order. We can, at time of order, guarantee them a ship date 1 week out from now. And then, of course, we're going to have the products that they're going to be ordering from us. Again, you can see that automatically when they're placing the order, I can pull up data like how much inventory do I have on hand to fill this order. So if they want to place an order for 2,000 right now, I can let them know right here that we can fulfill that order. And it's going to automatically calculate based on their price what the cost of this order is. So again, makes it very easy to place orders. And once I place that, that order's in the system. It's queued up for future shipment, and we can kind of go from there. We can get a bunch of additional data here. We can scroll down quickly, and let's say I want to see all of my orders that are in a pending status. Let's say when somebody places an order, it goes into pending status. Somebody needs to approve it to actually make it open. Maybe somebody in accounting needs to read all the orders, make sure nobody's on credit hold. I can scroll down here and quickly call up all of my orders that are in the pending status here that need to be approved. Um, I can look at all my orders that are in open status. I mean, these are open orders that we need to fulfill on whatever delivery date we've promised to the customers. If I want to filter this by delivery date, I can go in and say, I want to see all the orders that are scheduled for delivery, let's say tomorrow and today and tomorrow. So by the end of the week, these are all the orders that I need to get out. So again, we have the ability based on order data that's in the system to screen our orders against certain parameters to make our life a lot easier instead of shuffling through paper and looking at lists and spreadsheets and things like that. All the data is right here in the system. Um, another scenario potentially is I want to look at, I'm going to expand out this date universe here. Let's say UPS comes at noon. I want to make sure all of my orders for UPS are ready to go. I can go down here and say, what are all my UPS orders? Again, it's going to filter out those so I can have all of the things ready by noon to make sure they're ready for the UPS truck when it arrives. So a lot of that order data, again, gets all aggregated in the system, makes it very easy to manage things, see things, get a view of what do I need to prepare when in order to make sure that I'm providing good customer service and getting my orders out on time. Speaking of getting orders out, we've got the same thing when we fulfill orders, which is basically shipping inventory out against an order. We have the same ability to call them up by delivery method. So all the UPS orders, if I want to put all those in the, in the dock for the person to come get them. But basically when I ship an order out of the system, I can go in here and say, this is the order. I want to pack this one up and ship it out. We've got our 10 cases of chocolate bars. Let's say this is a distributor and I need to create a bill of lading to send this out. So no more manual bills of lading. I'm not filling things out manually. I can go in here and because we've got the data in the system for product weight, customer products that are getting ordered, I have the ability to automatically create a bill of lading with my chocolate bars, barcodes if it's relevant, my quantity, my weight, all of those things. So again, we can automate a lot of the tasks that are manual in a world where you don't have an ERP like Wherefour. So we're going to ship this order out of the system. And we also can automatically invoice this. So again, there's not somebody creating an invoice based on an order. We're turning orders into invoices. You can do that before you ship it out. You can trigger it by shipment to make sure that all your orders are getting invoiced and you're not missing any losing out on any revenue essentially. So um, that's kind of the order management, order status, shipping of orders out. Of course, you've got some additional logistics here against returns and things like that. Um, how do I manage the business? So how do I use all this in different ways to get reports, manage my business? So at let's say you're an order-driven company, I can go into the production area here and all of my products that are order-driven, I can look at what we call an MRP in Wherefour, and this is basically going to go in and tell me what do I need to make and when in order to fill my orders. So I'm going to toggle off first the raw material side. And what's this saying is basically I'm order driven, so I don't keep any stock in house. I just respond to orders when they come in. So this is basically saying I've got orders in house for this week that in the amount of 600. So it's aggregating. This could be 10, 20, 30, 50 orders, whatever it is that are adding up to the 600 units. I already have a work order scheduled in the system to make 160 of these. So what this is basically saying is I need to make another 440 of these or I'm not going to fill all my orders. I can see I've got a production run scheduled for next week. If I wanted to, I could go into my calendar here and move that production date up. I could just go in here and I want to make my chocolate bars instead of next week. I want to drag them up to here and reschedule them. And then that way I'm going to have the product in house. So an MRP essentially pulls together all of the data that you need to make your finished goods. So another thing that good order management does is it connects production to the fulfillment, purchasing, accounting side of the house because you've got everything kind of in one place here. And again, we see that for these cookies, we've got 80 on order, so we need to schedule production for those. We don't have any on order for next week, so we're fine going into next week. So again, you can get a global view of what your orders look like, what you need to make, and when you need to ship it out. And really quickly on the purchasing side, we can go in here again. If you're buying things based on orders that come in, it's going to back into what raw materials do I need to order in order to be able to make my finished goods that I'm going to ship out. So that kind of ties everything together. And then after the fact, if I want to look at certain parameters of my business, uh, orders that have come in and I've shipped out, but I want to find out if I made any money on those orders, I can go into our shipments report and let's say, um, I want to filter this. I want to look at orders that went out in April through today. I want to look specifically at, let's say, sales channel distributors, and I'm going to not filter for specific customers. And so I'm going to go in here and run a report, and it's going to basically show me orders that came from them. So if I go into this, I'm basically going to look at, I had an order for these loaves of bread. I sold 30 of them. My cost was $48. I sold it for 70, so I made a profit on that particular order of $21.30. If I want to look at future state, let's say I want to go out to the end of May and I want to look at all of my open orders that need to ship out. And I want to just take a look at what my fulfillment status looks like and my future revenue looks like moving out for the rest of the month. If I want run this report, I have the ability to go in and say, I've got orders in house for roughly 7,000 of these chocolate bars. I do have some on hand. Tells me I need to make another 800, but I already knew that in production. But I also see here that I have $60,000 once I fill these orders. So you have the ability to look into the future and see what kind of cash might be coming in against the orders that we have in-house moving into the future. So you have the ability to look into the future and also look into the past to report on profitability. So that's a quick snapshot of all the things you can do to manage your orders. Again, they're going to come from disparate sources. We have integrations that enable you to bring orders in from EDI. Let me talk about that really quickly. So EDI integration, let's say you're doing business with Walmart and Costco and those types of places, and you have orders coming in, and then they have a bunch of requirements of you. You need to send them order acknowledgments. When you ship product out, you need to give them advance notice of exactly what's in that shipment before it gets to them. Or they're going to reject it. You have to send out their invoices in a specific format. We can organize and automate all those things so you're not going through 3 different steps to do business with companies like that. You're taking orders into Wherefour automatically through the EDI integration. We're sending invoices automatically. We're sending ASNs automatically. So we eliminate the need to do things 3 or 4 times to conduct business with some of those larger customers. So in a snapshot, that is basically what good order management does for you, all of the things that you can do when you're managing a system. If you are interested in seeing a longer demo or just have some questions based on this webinar, please reach out to us. You can visit our website. You can contact me directly to schedule a demo that's unique to you, where you can ask questions specific to your company. So wanted to thank everybody for coming. Appreciate your time today. Again, we like to get in and out on these and get them done in about 15 minutes so we can get you as much information as possible in a shorter period of time. So have a great week and happy selling.